any weight before it comes out again. Well, guess what? There was still water in it. My meter, my hand, all these gadgets they tell you about didn't work. I bought a $16 digital scale that does it in grams. And if it doesn't lose weight, I'm done. It's done. I might even put it in for another hour just to make sure. And there might have been that quarter gram left that the scale didn't pick up. And then I'll pack it up. And yeah, I've had stuff for 3-4 years now, and it's just dry. There's no moisture in there. And then other factors are involved, humidity in the air when you're packing it up, stuff like that. But nobody talks about this stuff. But I learned tidbits here and there, like you said, and I put it all together because I understand the science of it. When I see things that make sense to me, logically, I'll add it to my quiver of, okay, I need to do this, and now this to make sure something is going to work properly for me and not worry about it. And that's everybody. They watch a YouTube. Look at me. I'm a doctor. I watch a YouTube video on stitching a wound. No, you're not.
Back to the paint can stove. I copied and pasted my paint can stove and how I use it in the side chat there. Along the same lines of putting a stove inside of a larger pot, I did something like that. I can weld, and I bought used bed frames and welded those together and made a stand for the whole thing, so I can take an enormous pot and put it on top of that and sanitize water, several gallons if I want to, because the stand I built around it will sustain weight, But there we go.
That's cool. Yeah, it's just a short video, but it's good. A good display of it, showing it all. A quick question for you then, Bob. One skill I don't have that I really want to learn at some point is to weld. How difficult is that to learn?
It takes time. It depends upon. Shadow's a welder also.
Yeah,
he's a journeyman, But to get two pieces of metal to stick together, you just got to play with it. Depends upon what kind of a welder you want to get. I started off with the most budget Chinese stick arc welder, just a stick welder, and started learning how to use that. And I progressed up from there, and I eventually settled on this. This is an American-made Miller welder. It's a wire feed, what people call wire feed. But start off with a cheap Chinese thing, and if you can get that to work, if you can figure it out and keep trying, and once you get better equipment, it'll go like a breeze, baby. Oh man, yeah. But
just it's one of those, even if it's just like spot welding, it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be patterned, it just has to work. I think it's one of those skills that I'd really like to add. I can do anything with wood. I did a joinery degree, so NVQ over here in the UK. So if it's wood and nails, I've no problem. But metal on metal, I need to figure something out.
I would say the best quick advice I can give to you is you're going to need some way of sanding, like a rotary sander. Get one of those and sand all the surfaces clean, including where the ground clamp goes. All of that. It's got to be down, because that'll make your efforts easier. Clean everything, all the paint, all the rust, whatever else off, and then start from there. And you'll get frustrated. You will get frustrated, and it'll piss you off. But
I know Shadow that feeling.
Shadow knows. It's like, I don't know what the.
and don't weld anything galvanized.
No,
stay away from that. You will be sick and probably have permanent damage.
You will die. Yeah, but
without a fumes thing.
Talking about metal.
Poisonous.
I wanted to ask you guys that are in the USA, do you have any shows there where you have like scrapyard challenge, for example? In the UK, sometimes we have these shows where you get these contestants together. There's three different sets of mechanics, and they're all expertise in different levels of mechanics. And they're told, right, we want you to go into this scrapyard and just build us a car from scratch. And do you have any shows like that in the USA?
I don't watch television.
We did back in the day. I remember one called Junkyard Wars.
Yeah.
And you go in, they have groups or teams, and you're in there. Now, most of these guys had the basic welding, machine shop skills, automotive skills, stuff like that. It'd be like, okay, you need to build something to get yourself across this body of water. It was like, 200 meters, and
That's great.
I'm watching this guy walk by cars, and I'm like, dude, take the fiberglass cap off of that conversion van. It's a boat. It's ready to go, and they don't use it. They go find barrels and tubes and things, and I'm like, okay, you're dumb. I get it.
Yeah, shows like that and are very interesting. And we're talking about having skills that where you can find them. Maybe just as a little starter, just maybe watch some of those shows and see what can be done. And
it always killed me watching them when they're finding steel drums and barrels, and they're finding all these things, and they just happen to come across a pile of 2-inch steel angle iron. I'm like, really? Just happens to be there in this junkyard, like nobody planted it there.
Stage junkyard.
Totally staged.
Yeah. Oh, there happens to be just amount of outboard motors on here.
It only needs a spark plug that you found in that little Honda sitting right there. Right. Yeah. And it ran.
We've got a program here that's called, I think it's called Scrap Heap Challenge.
Scrap Heap Challenge. Yeah, hosted by Grant Brighton from Red Dwarf. Robert Llewellyn. But it's a good point though, Daryl, that it's not just about the welding and the skills like that, but observation and scavenging and looking in the right place are all skill sets.
Yep.
So if you can't weld, but you can do woodworking. I heard, Mike, you do woodworking, right? It's just basic hammer nail stuff, and which I think a lot of us do anyway. Whether it's precision cabinet making or just making a frame to hold your garden up. I mean, literally with metalworking, you can do the same thing. You just need to know how to drill a hole, find some nuts and bolts that'll fit the hole.
Yeah, I mean
cut pieces and bend stuff with some heat, and you can not do the same thing, but you can get it. You can get the job done without having to weld stuff.
Yeah, I've generally done that in the past with stuff, and like I say, joinery skills do come in handy for that. It's like I did 2 years of bench joinery, and I did about 1.5 years on site. So site joinery is the more practical stuff, doors, floors, architraves, things like that. But the 2 years of bench joinery was like dovetail joints on drawers and things like that. It's like really in-depth, weird stuff like that. But that kind of using your hands in that like tactile bench environment comes in handy for anything. I've bent over hinges to use them for things and things like that, and used bolted them on. I just thought welding would be a nice string to the bow.
Yeah, my problem with woodworking is I worked in a machine shop for my father-in-law, and we had a sign we hung on the wall. If anybody's ever been in a machine shop and understands, thousandths of a millimeter, thousandths of an inch, the sign said tolerance, which if you're a machinist, you know what that means, plus or minus a couple, whatever. Tolerance is room for error. And that used to freak me out. So he'd be like, I need this at 22 thousandths plus or minus 2. Oh, no, my little cylinder piece was 22 thousandths. I mean, it was plus or minus a half a thou. And he was like, dude, you don't need to spend this much time on it. I'm like, yeah, I do. That's me. But I took that into woodworking, which is an unfortunate side effect of that. Now, when I build something out of wood, it's off by a 16th of an inch.
Yeah, I mean,
Mike, I was going to say, Mike, having that woodworking skill is also great, because if you go into a scrapyard,
stuff, you got to be pretty precise.
Sorry, chef.
It cut you out then.
Cutting out.
Oh, I don't care. Sorry about that.
Yep, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, we're good.
As part of my
go on, PV. Sorry.
So, as part of my resettlement, when I left the army, I did a 1-week carpentry and joinery course. Right.
1 week, expert.
Oh my! What he's doing programs on TV now.
Enabled me to completely fit out my boat and my van.
There you go. But I bet there was lots of trial and error there, wasn't there?
Wow.
Well, sometimes, yeah. But,
but that's how you learn best.
Basically, what the instructor taught us was he emphasised. We come away from the course. We built a table each. I've still got the table. This is like 20 years on. table, a saw bench, and basically incorporated into the table that we didn't realize at the time was every type of joint you could think of.
Right.
So,
Okay.
you know what I mean? And it was actually we thought, well, the budget didn't extend to anything else. The course I wanted to do cost, back then £1,800, and I just didn't have the money. Well, I didn't want to spend that much on a course for a potential job I may not want to do. But anyway, so I did this carpentry joinery course, and the rewards afterwards, because a couple of books later, a couple of bit of practicing after that, and you develop your skills and what they taught you. So planting a little bit of knowledge and elaborating on the skills paid dividends. And but
Brilliant.
yeah, I mean, that's just one example of wood.
Well, look, Mike, would be good if someone said, right, Mike, we need you to build us some kind of conversion. We've built a car from the scrapyard. Can you sort of find any bits and pieces lying around to fashion a kitchen even?
Heath Robinson. Yeah. I built my own kitchen as well. I've done 2 kitchens since then. They both worked out all right.
That's brilliant. It's all this kind of stuff is fantastic knowledge to have, because, like, you're talking about rebuilding. How do you? Okay, you've been through a situation. You're not just going to sit there and go, "What are we going to do now?" You have to get some kind of order going. Okay, you've had to survive the first few days, whatever the situation was. You may have to rebuild, having certain knowledge how to go out. Even like Mike said, having to have the eye just to be able to spot things is a skill in itself. That's useful.
There's some stuff you never forget, like how to do. It's like riding a bike, some of it. But I'm sure you mentioned it last time, PV, where your skills start to peter off over time if you don't practice them and stuff like that.
And skill fade.
And you will find that with elements. Like if I suddenly had to make a set of drawers with dovetail joints on them, I'd probably have a few gaps that might need a bit of caulk to hide some sin. But if I had to just saw a piece of wood, hang a door, put a floor down, things like that, I think that's almost second nature. So there's stuff that you will forget, but it's practice with that, I suppose. I mean, I'm moving house this month. Yay! So I'll be wanting to put joinery skills into effect all of a sudden. So first one is building a pantry.
Your painting skills going.
Oh, that's one thing I can't stand to do, PV. I couldn't be a painter and decorator. I can do it, but
if you got if young man, if you got a wife in the house, you're gonna learn to paint.
Oh, I know. I even learned how to hang wallpaper, and that when your missus at the time comes home with Barbie wallpaper for the girls' room.
Make it match. It better match.
Someone's genius idea was to print these princesses halfway on the paper, so you had to match a prince. I was like,
oh my God.
By the time it was finished, it looked perfect, and I just said, whatever you do, don't pull the bed out, because when she pulled the bed out,
hey Gail, good to see you.
I'd have to slide it up.
Yeah, if you've got a wife, you're going to have to learn how to do all that stuff, because, and my wife's real subtle, but she'll just say, I would like to have, and then, here we go. Oh, God. you married guys know what that's all about.
Things to do,
I'll hang drywall all day long. I learned how to hang drywall when I was 9. Yeah. You can kiss my white ass when it comes to spackling. I have tried to spackle and mud and all that, corner tape, all that stuff. And it looks great while you're doing it. It's like, okay, we're good to paint. You paint it. It's like, oh, hell no. There's divots and dents everywhere. I'm like, this is why you run down to the corner big box lumber store and hire a couple guys standing on the corner that look like they had to put mud on the wall. I'm like, great, here. Here's $100. Mud this mess for me because I can't do it.
The best thing I ever learned when it came to joinery, it wasn't joinery, but as soon as you go from college joinery to on-site joinery, joinery's become a bit of a jack of all trades. Because if something needs changing, we don't want to bother the electrician, so we'll just move that. So we kind of learn bits and bats, and the best thing I ever learned how to do was plaster. It's just doing skimming or doing tape and joining or just doing a skim of plaster, just finishing. It's the best thing I ever learned how to do because that makes a massive difference. Gil is in the chat. Gil, look what I bought.
Hello, Gil.
Look what you made me buy.
Hey, Mike, that's why they call it beat to fit, paint to hide.
Yeah.
It's good times. It was much simpler then when I wasn't working on computers and sat behind a desk, and I was 2 stone less, you know.
Trade.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, did you ever learn how to hang up crown molding? That is the worst compound angle BS.
Oh, dude.
I have, and that's, you know what they use crown molding for? To hide the crappy ass seam at the corner of the ceiling and the wall. That's all it's there for.
Honestly, I don't think I ever put it up. I think there was a similar to, like, there was a sort of beading in one Barrett's homes that was to hide the sin in the corners, but that was just almost like architrave. It was just a wooden straight thing. I know what you're talking about, but I've never had to do it.
I did it. I did it once. I'll never do it again because I probably ruined $200 worth of lumber because I had it at the wrong angle direction when I had my compound set. Double compound. No, I'm like, are you kidding me? Why am I doing this? Oh, it has to match the rest of the room because that's the way it was, and I'm not ripping that down to respackle everything again. So yeah, nope.
I hear you, chef. I've been through that, and that's why they have journeyman finish carpenters.
That's right.
You can pay a guy $1,000 or whatever. He'll come in, set up the tools, bang, 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 bang. It looks perfect, and he's out of the house in 4 hours. I tried that myself once. I will never do that crown molding again.
No, he does it. That's his skill. He does it for a living. And I'll watch him to try to sort of learn, but I'm not going to bug him while he's doing it because he'll charge me double.
Same with I'll do plastering if it's on a wall. I'll never do a ceiling again. I attempted that once, and the heartache of watching it fall down at one side of the room while you're finishing the other side, and it just drops because it's too heavy. I'm just like, no, I can't do this anymore.
That's why they have contractors, my friend. That's why they have contractors. It's going to come out of the wallet, but it's
another.
I have been doing ceiling before. And it never dropped any paint or anything. I did it perfectly.
Well, we just had we just had the whole upstairs plastered and the stairway all plastered, and there's no way I was going to attempt that myself. We just got the guy in to do it. There you go, come in, do it. Whack, there's the money. See you later. We'll just paint it. And one thing you can't really learn is you got to practice these tricks of the trade. They're the real sort of secrets to. You can do it yourself, and it'll be rough and ready. But the tricks of the trade will make it look.
You know, PV. Once you watch someone who really knows what they're doing, the tricks of the trade that make a journeyman make it look easy are sometimes the simplest little thing. Like hold your hand this way, not this way.
Yeah.
Have you discovered that? Yeah. Use this type of a tool and hold it at this angle, not that angle. Like, that's so simple. Why didn't I think of that? That's because that's the difference between an apprentice and a journeyman. You know,
and a rookie who doesn't have a clue.
Yeah.
When I first got me boat, a lot of people are shy away from servicing their own engines, and it's far easier to just get some guy in, pay him 150, 250 pounds for someone else to come in and service the engine. I thought there's no way I'm doing that. You know, every 50 hours, 100 hours, 250 hours, whatever, basically 250 hours now, you get your engine serviced. No way I'm going to pay that sort of money, so I'll do it myself. So the first service was 50 hours after the brand new engine. So I got the guy in, and I watched exactly what he did. And I was with him, asking him all these stupid questions as he was doing it. And from then on, every service I do it myself. Just from that basically first-time jobby. And it's not hard, you know, even if you're not mechanically minded. But a lot of people don't get involved in that sort of way, and they just end up paying.
Do you not feel like we're in a bit of a trap with that as well? Because I used to service. So I had a 7-seater Zafira diesel, and I used to do all my own services on that. But suddenly my service history has not got garage stamps in it.
Right.
So the value when I go to resell my car is less, but I have kept that car in top condition and serviced it more regular than anyone would have done at a garage.
When it comes to cars and vehicles, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it myself. These days, you open up a bonnet and it just looks like a big plastic engine. And you get all sorts of diagnostics in there and reset things. But on a basic boat engine, it's just you really are going back to basics with a diesel engine or a petrol engine. Yeah. So you can do it yourself that way, and there's no sort of comeback as to history of that. You just annotate it in there when you've done it, sign it yourself, and then the history's there really.
I kind of like old vehicles for that reason. I don't know if you have Haynes manuals in the States.
Yep. Yeah, we got Haynes. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So I was taught from a very early age, as soon as you buy a car, you buy the Haynes manual that matches the car.
Exactly. I think I still have every Haynes manual for every vehicle I ever own, because I'm an end user. When I'm done with it, it goes to the crusher. I mean, it's rare that I sell it, because I don't want to sell something and just have to live with the fact that something I did along the lines of my maintenance hurt somebody.
Right.
Brake line failed because I put it on 5 years ago. Yeah, that's it. I'm it. And I'm literally I got 6 new injectors and upper intake gaskets to put in my Ranger here. It's a 98, but it's got 240,000 miles on. I got to do that Monday. I was going to do it today, but I forgot I'm working. So, I'm putting injectors and all that in there because I need the truck. It's my truck, and it's a great truck, and I'll keep it until there's nothing left to keep.
That's the way. That's the way.
Well, fellas, I'm going to bounce out of here and go cut the grass.
Yeah,
I showed you the.
Okay, Bob. No problem.
I showed you guys the type of fertilizer I use for my grass. It all comes right out of the house here: coffee grounds, paper, all that. And
I'm gonna take y'all shopping with me here.
Are you gonna put that on that patch of grass that your neighbor destroyed and see if it will reverb?
Yeah, what I had to do there. Good question, PV. That I went in there and I scoured the soil out and put down some fresh soil and some clover. Because clover is a soil fixer, and I mean that guy's a complete asshole, just going on to somebody else's little piece of property and pouring vinegar on there. That's really pretty fucked up, and shows you that's the family that I know that during good times are parasitic. They're drunks, they're alcoholics, they're drug addicts during the good times. Can you imagine what they're going to be like during the bad times? I don't want to.
Desperate.
Absolutely.
Have you started on that yet, you say?
I've already got it done, and the clover's coming up. Yeah.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. But, it's just he's a professional golfer. You see, at least that's what he told. Gaslighting, love bombing, gaslighting, pure typical narcissist. If you look up the definition of a narcissist, he is one. And so his wife's so wasted drunk every day that you can't even converse with him.
Hang on. It's just a secret. You got a birthday coming up, Shadow?
But I usually wait. I look at my security cameras, and as soon as she leaves for work, that's one less I have to deal with, and then I'll go out and do some gardening because I don't want to deal with a drunk. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
Mm-hmm. Peace, guys. Later, Shadow.
Later, Bob.
See you later. I don't know if it was mentioned when Bob mentioned that in the first place, because I wasn't in, but anyone interested is most Starbucks and places like that over here in the UK, you can go in there and grab the old coffee grounds. They bag them up for free for anyone to use for the garden. So if anybody wants them, you literally go into any local Starbucks. Usually they'll already have a basket full of them, or you can ask them, and they'll give you bags full of the old coffee grounds for nothing.
Now then, a while back, every winter I get compressed coffee ground logs to burn. Yeah. I tried them out and they're quite good. And you'd need some sort of method of crushing them into a compressed sort of block or something like that, similar to the old paper newspaper mashers, you know, they compress them into a block.
Yeah.
Anyway, you burn them, and they burn just as good as wood.
That must be a potent smell as it burns, though, right?
No, not really. I mean, it goes out the flue and stuff like that. You get a nice, pleasant aroma. Nothing too strong.
I was just going to say that house must smell amazing.
Yeah, in SHTF, you'll have all the coffee fiends at the door.
I smell coffee. Where's the coffee?
Not too bad. I mean, we've seen we had a guy next to us who used to burn this peat, and that stuff absolutely stunk. I can't like that burn it anymore, but not down here anyway.
Mm.
Yeah. There's worse things to burn.
That's a good idea. That's good to know that. I wonder what I could use to compress.
Coffee logs. Yeah, Google coffee logs, and you'll see them. They've got them on a deal. Got to try them out, and they weren't too bad.
Cool. I've got some firewood now because I stubbed my toe on a cabinet before, and in anger, also followed up by putting my foot through the cabinet door.
No, you can replace that as a joiner.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't something that was going to make the move anyway. So, but I didn't realize how good the wood was on it, so I might reuse the rest of it.
Be interested to see, particularly people in the comments or here now, as to anyone who's done a course recently and where they've done it in relation to survival preparedness, bushcraft, and something like
skills, that. Skills course. In the UK, I know the Bug Out Shop in South Wales. He works with Tom Prepared Pathfinder, and they run courses, map reading, skills, all sorts like that. And hopefully this year, but definitely next year, we've got some forests in Scotland and a professional instructor to do some bug out training and fire starting and stuff like that with our UK Prepper Network stuff. And it's only going to cost a small donation to the farmer for us being on his land. So that should be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, like some of the courses are expensive. Some of them are worth it. Like you say, you learn from proper instructors. But if you've already got a group of mag or friends or preppers together, then approach a professional instructor and say, how much for us lot in a weekend? You know, there's a chance they'll do it, and it'll be a lot cheaper than going through different channels. So you could always set your own thing up.
Yeah, definitely. How many knows how to splice, make an ice splice on a rope?
Yeah.
Make a what? Ice splice?
Splice the rope. Yeah, I've done that. I've learned to do that, make my own fenders and stuff like that, just through an old book and some online videos.
I love doing eye splices, end splices, mid splices. I used to do it just to piss my friends off.
It's quite a good practical thing to do. I do it for. I still do it on an occasional rope that needs doing, back splicing and rope just to secure.
Yeah, back splicing, eye splice.
Yeah.
It holds up better than if you tie a knot.
Yeah.
Doesn't hold up that well as splice do. So.
What are you doing to me here? I've only just learned a good set of knots, you know, and now you want me to do all this. That's gonna.
Well, you want me to do a video on it for you? I'll do it.
I was just looking. It looks quite easy to do. To be fair,
it's really not if you know how to weave, and it's a three strand rope. And you can keep the ends from fraying out while you're doing it. You're good. It's easy to practice on nylon rope first because
you could melt the ends, right? So it doesn't
melt the ends, little points, and then you can feed it back on itself. You just got to look at it and go, "Oh, okay." First time I did one, I was like, "Oh, I'm good." I was doing it to everything.
I've made rope out of like plant sinews and stuff like that, but that looks cool.
It's quite a logical thing to do because it's a symmetrical thing to do as well. So you can actually figure it out. If it's not right, it won't look right. It's also one of those things that you can actually not do and get away with doing something else, like stop a knot or securing the end of a rope with a certain type of knot and stuff like that. It depends on how refined you want to be and the immediate use for it and stuff.
That's the question, I suppose. Obviously, this is more time consuming than putting a decent knot in and stuff like that.
No, not really. It's really not that hard to do.
I assume it's more time consuming, though, right? If we think about it.
Oh, sure, but if you're gonna if you're gonna make an overhand knot to make an end loop to hang onto as a handle, yeah, that takes 2 seconds versus spending 3 or 4 minutes doing a eye splice on the end of a rope.
Interesting. I found something to learn.
That's it. I'll have to give you my email address next time you go live that you're going to do something. I'll hop on with you and do an eye splice live for you.
Do the real rough and ready method. You just cut the rope down and just, if it's an artificial rope, just burn the ends and melt it into an end.
I mean, you could if it was non-artificial rope. I mean, you could still do that, but like dip it in wax on the end a bit.
Yeah, I've come across two methods really. One, you can get a paint nowadays where you dip the end of the rope into the paint and it solidifies into like a hard rubbery plastic. Or secondly, you can just use gaffer tape if you need to. That works, just as well. It won't last as good, but that works.
Use gaffer tape for everything. If it doesn't need gaffer tape, it needs WD-40.
Yeah, especially if, say, you want to cut a rope which has got 3 strands to it. So you put gaffer tape around it, say a couple of inches long. You cut in the middle of the gaffer tape, and it stops the ends flying apart and splaying and traveling down the whole other length of the rope. So you end up with a useless length of 3 pieces of smaller rope, and then you just burn the ends off, and the gaffer tape ends up fusing into the rope. That works.
Well, that comes when we are on splicing and things like that. When you splice, use a tool like this.
Yeah, you need to fit.
Actually, this is very right.
This is, well, I'm gonna, as you see, it's bent upwards, right?
Yeah.
And the rope will go through here because you stick it in between and you lift that up, and so you can put that end through here and pull out. This is for splicing cordage.
Cool. Has anybody ever tried to make cotton string from cotton buds or anything like that? Anybody got any experience?
No.
That's a good skill to know as well. How to make. I saw a video once of this woman. She made a jumper
Hey, Maddie. Good to see you.
From dog's hairs.
No, I've never done that. I mean, I've made a fender or two, and unless you've got a tool like Shadow's shown you there, a fit, then I mean you can do it with like a screwdriver, and you can, I suppose, do it just using your bare fingers. But after an hour or two of making a fender or a complicated splice, then your fingers are going to be sore, really sore. So you definitely need those sorts of tools.
You can get like a home loom for stuff like that. If you wanted to make your own material and stuff like that. I mean, I'm in Lancashire. There's cotton mills all over the place and like looms and stuff. My stepdad grew up actually working in them, but I've seen the home ones that you can do. You can get like a little small unit and make your own material that way.
We've got a loom course.
There's a guy that does a video on YouTube, and it's got how to spin cotton yarn, using a pencil. He just uses a pencil, gets a load of cotton, surgical cotton and just get some
I
pencil.
I can understand it, but I suppose you've got to prioritise it amongst, weigh that up
repairs.
the odds
repairs.
of. Well, wait
Okay,
up
I
against
have.
the
I
odds.
can show you how to use this. Okay.
There you go. Shadow's going to give us a lesson here.
Okay.
Ah.
Normally, you bend up this to get the end through, right? But you twist this, and then you put
Bit
this,
higher, Shadow, a bit higher. That's it.
put it through there, and then you take the end. Basically, you put it up, so you get a little bit more space.
Just like a camera shot, Shadow.
So it creates the channel underneath for you to slide the other rope through. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
There you go. Yep.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's brilliant. Things like that is great for repairing nets.
This makes everything much easier. Okay, so
Yeah.
and this is a splice I made.
Yep, nice and neat, nice and symmetrical.
Yeah. It takes a lot of practice, but it's fun when you learned it. And begin with sheep cordage rope like this.
What's that stuff we
Because
use? Sorry.
because you don't want to begin to splice a more expensive cordage rope because no, you don't want to waste it. So it's better to begin practicing with sheep. This is polypropylene rope, basically. So it's cheap, easy to practice with.
Do you guys remember that stuff we used, when we were kids? We used to do those key ring things with plastic. It's like plastic cordage. We used to do little key ring things with them, and they were like, what were they called again?
Yeah, similar to paracord projects you can do.
Yeah, but it was with plastic strands.
I've got the
And here is another one
Yep.
I made.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, nice.
So this, you basically create a handle
Yeah.
on the rope, which can be really nice sometimes.
You can use that as a sort of soft truncheon.
A soft kosh. a warning kosh.
Show me your paper. Show me your papers. No, the soft kosh is coming out now.
Right, it's me, Shadow. I've got to get out, and I've got to just finalise a couple of things. So
nice one, PV.
right, no worries. I'll catch you all a bit.
We'll catch up. Take care.
No worries. See you later, folks.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah, and Medi says a shoehorn for rope making and splicing, it seems. Well, you could say that.
Is that tool that you showed specifically purchased for that job? It's not something you've adapted.
Yeah, this tool is specifically made for that kind of job. And that is the smaller size. And then you have the larger size.
Size matters, is what we're saying.
Okay, this is the short. What do you want? Do you want the short, long, soft rope, or you want the long one?
This one is for a larger diameter of rope,
Yeah.
but you can use it for a rope in this size too. So
Good stuff.
yeah, it is.
This is the kind of things, the skills you need to learn on the rainy winter evenings when there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all valuable, because if you're in that situation where you're again rebuilding, you might need cordage.
Yeah.
Help
Yeah.
along with shelter building. You know.
Hey, hi, county homestead, country homestead. Sorry.
It's a bit like weaving.
Good to see you, man.
Weaving material branches through other branches to sort of form some kind of shelter.
I do like and I have practiced some doing like you know how they make wicker baskets and stuff like that. That is a nice little skill form to have.
Very good skill set.
And I've also made rope from strips of tree bark. It can't be dead bark or old bark. It's usually thin trees or newish trees, but stripping that off into strips and then plaiting it together. I've made cord from that. So, but yeah, I'd like to. I'm going to have to put a list together. Welding and now rope work. I've got skill sets to learn. I feel like I'm at the age though when I learn something new, I worry about what I forgot in place of that.
Maybe make a little notebook. Have a little notebook on refresher, the refresher notebook. You know what is you know, you could have anything in that notebook, anything from your food preps. You know what you know, from dates of your food preps to your skills that you've got to refresh on. Even like, you know, and then you look at skills and come on the first aid, you think, okay, I'm going to check the dates on the first aid as well. What's the word? Remember to cycle through your stuff as well. Add new stuff, use up the old stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if anything you stockpile that you might already use on a regular basis, but you should be rotating that anyway. But there is people that will stock medications, and if you never actually need it for a good year or two, you should still keep a close eye on things like that.
Yeah, that's true. Even simple things like wet wipes. You think, right, I'm going to buy 20 packets and put them in the cupboard, and I've got loads of wet wipes. And all right, you rotate, but still, if you leave those wet wipes for too long, they can lose their moisture. I don't know how it happens.
Yeah, no, yeah, especially if it's got if the seal's not great or if it's a slightly warmer environment. I've opened a pack of toilet wipes and they've been dry as a bone.
Yeah, you just really don't need that. You think, all right, oh yeah, I could use one of these now for it's an emergency, my face. I'm in the park or wherever, or you just feel sweaty or dirty and it's dry. I mean, you still can use it, but
it's not ideal.
It's not ideal.
No.
So yeah, like that's why, you know, you get some people, they've got a bug out bag, for example, and they go, right, oh, I haven't looked at it for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know, I think go through your stuff all the time, whatever it is, be it bug out bag, your pantry, anything could happen. You don't know.
I think you should constantly try and use it. I mean, I've started camping regular now just because it's easier for my work because I've got to do 2 days in the office, so overnighting there is easier. But I mean, that's going to start to become all weathers. I'm cooking different ways each time I'm doing it just to refresh stuff that I think I know already, but it's been a while, you know.
Good idea.
So,
yeah. It's a good idea. You know, take out your camping gear and then cook a meal in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, practice with your shelter system. You know, how do you know your shelter system is going to work? You've got so many people. They're like, yeah, I've got this bag, and I've got this silver foil, and that's my shelter. Right? Okay. Day one, 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, and that stretch. your silver foil blanket might be there on the third day.
And have you ever tried sleeping in one? They're not the most comfortable thing, and it's definitely very noisy. It's not the most practical solution. I don't find the single layer foil blankets that good. The bag ones are quite good, but again, they're not the most durable things, right?
No, they're not. I mean, having them as a layer, you could put it you could put it under your jacket, for example, as another layer, or you can fashion under your trousers. I mean, you can even use things like newspapers. Newspapers are in some ways, I mean, but who carries newspapers around? But I mean, in an SHTF situation, you see a bundle of newspapers, they could soon turn to be something very valuable from fires.
You can learn.
Yeah, you can create fire logs or fire bricks with newspaper.
You can learn a lot from homeless people who use paper for insulation a lot. Either to lie on or scrunch up and even put inside the clothes and pack that out.
Yeah. In fact, I say to people, you walk around and you see these. I know they're cutting down trees and it's very bad. Newspapers. I don't like newspapers myself, but if I do see like free stuff, I tend to grab a few. 2 or 3. Right, I'll have that. And you do that over a year, you might end up with a nice pile of newspapers, and they're very useful from when you're doing things like decorating, and even like you just said, even having stuff to insulate your clothing with.
Mm-hmm.
Very useful.
Just don't get it wet. My dad taught me. He used to work in New York City and commute, and I went into work with him a couple times when I was younger. And I'm like, Daddy, why are you holding one newspaper, half the newspaper, because it was like a 2-section paper? The outside section was just open normal, but the inside section, he rolled it up in the tightest tube I'd ever seen. I'm like, why do you carry that? He's like, 2 reasons. The front, if somebody comes at me, the outside paper he throws up in the air so it splatters and it takes their attention off. And if he can't get away, he's got the inside one that's basically like a baseball bat, and he can use that as protection. I was just like, okay, sure.
There you go. Like Shadow said, logs and to truncheons, to sleeping material. There's so many uses for newspapers.
Yeah, I saw it was a YouTube video a couple of years ago when they made bricks in this size, and they made a mold from it, and they wet the newspaper and put it in there and put a press on top and squeeze the water out, and then
fire bricks out of paper. Dry. Those are great.
Mm.
So maybe invest in one of those little log making things. I don't know what they're called.
Like a press, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a press.
Yeah, you can if you're handy with metal and wood, you can make one out of a bottle jack out of your car, or you can pick up at the secondhand store from a car, as long as it's hydraulic. Or you can buy a hydraulic press, which that'll set you back a few $100 at least.
You can get a little handheld one on Amazon here for like £17. How good it would be? Maybe I'll have to get one and test it. But it's got 92 ratings at 4.2 stars. Do you want me to put it on the screen, Shadow?
Yeah,
I can show people. Let me window.
Things like that. Yeah, they're great. They're great because you always see paper everywhere, like especially in the city.
Yeah, exactly.
So and useful material.
So my auntie started doing this as well, not just with paper, but with plastic. So do you know your big 4-pint plastic milks?
Yeah.
Keeps them, and all of the plastic she shreds up and pushes inside, and just keeps doing that and compacting it until they're full, and then she puts the lid on. She's used these to make her wall around her pond. So they're around it, and then she's put like plaster over it, and it's eco bricks.
Wow.
How do you keep the plastic pieces from like water bottles and that from coming apart? It's got to be some kind of a glue or something she uses.
Well, it's all just packed into a single bottle, so you could still scrunch it a bit. It's just shredded up and put inside a single bottle. Then the lid's put on.
Oh, inside a bottle. I thought she was using this brick maker.
No, I've just found this brick maker for the paper thing. I'm just gonna.
There's a guy on YouTube. I got looped into, making your own fire logs and that. And there's a guy who has one of those. He had to modify it a lot because they're not very thick. So too much pressure and they start to bow and buckle and bend and do weird things. So for the price, yeah, maybe. You just don't want to overfill it.
Yeah, I might give it a try. I've added it to my ever-growing prep wish list that's here. Prep list.
Talking of plastic, here's another one for you for maybe perhaps tactical purposes. Okay, you're in SHTF situation, and you're in the forest and you're legging it, and there's a sniper. So, table tennis balls. I don't know the table tennis balls.
Ping pong balls.
Ping pong balls.
Yeah.
I watched this video once where this guy bought a crazy amount of table tennis ping pong balls, and he cut them up into small pieces, and he put them in a small container, and somehow he fashioned some way to ignite them to set them on fire.
Oh, those things burn fast. They're brutal.
He made he made like a kind of smoke bomb.
Yeah, I think I know similar to what. So I don't know how much I can say on YouTube. So I'm not condoning anyone do anything. But as kids, we used to mess with a cut open tennis ball and old match heads. It takes a long time to fill them out.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about then. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, do not try this at home. We are trained professionals that, no, we're not. We were stupid kids, and now we're adults that know better.
Yeah. We know better, do we? Honestly.
Well, I mean, we know how to be better and do it better. How's that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, the smoke thing for me is more to do with emergency situations.
Definitely.
If you want to be seen, and how often do you see like survival programs when they say, right, this is how you set up a bush. You set up the bush like that, and you want it to be having plenty of green leaves. So when you do get the wood on fire, the green leaves will then create smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want the helicopter to see the smoke. So, I don't know what the material it is when they make table tennis, but I'm thinking it's some kind of plastic.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking uses of plastics in the SHTF situation. What
definitely. Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, on the smoke front, I mean, it's a good idea, but people don't realize, like in the UK, smokes and flashbangs you can buy an abundance of because of airsoft and paintball sites and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they last for literally a few seconds, and you get a little bang out of them, but it might cost you like $6.99, £7, and you think, wow, like fireworks. I've seen better fireworks than that.
Yeah. There's certain brands I would definitely avoid, and there is some half decent ones stuff. But yeah, it's I know what you're saying. You'll never get a military grade one from an airsoft site.
And they cost loads of money. You think, right, I've got a bug out bag. I saw some guy say, right, I've got these flashbangs from the airsoft, and I thought, right, I'll get a couple of those, and you try one out, and it's like, even your friend sort of like 50 feet away from you couldn't see it. Well,
yeah, I mean, it's got to be it's for effect, right? On an airsoft site, it's never for real use. It's just for effect. But
yeah, like compared to military sort of flashbang, sort of smoke thing, it's more like a puff.
Yeah,
sort of effect, But
I mean,
it's like, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
I think it's Enola Gay or Enola that do them over here that cost a bit more, which are quite good though, and that's usually the ones you're seeing at football events where suddenly the entire crowd can't see because somebody's let off a smoke grenade. Is it Enola?
Even
Yeah.
allow
Is
good to
it
see
no?
you,
No, I
brother.
was just asking you if it's Enola, yeah.
Yeah,
But I think-
Enola Gay EG18 wire pull smoke grenade. That's the one.
Right, okay.
Yeah, those can come in handy.
Well, because in my area, quite often you do get helicopters actually landing. Although I'm in the city, I've got a local park where helicopters do land, and in fact, a few times, President Trump has landed in my local park. I'm not messing about. He has. He's flown literally over my house. Marine One,
Wow,
and
that's cool.
yeah, some of these airsoft stuff, guys, be careful with. A lot of the stuff is gimmick, image, and gimmick.
Yeah.
Be careful with the, even some of the camouflage stuff is ridiculous. If you see some of the camouflage stuff, you think, well, there you go. Look at that. Wow, look, they're
So
not cheap, are they?
no, they're not cheap, but these are
They're
the
not-
decent ones, and they work out cheaper if you buy them as bulk. So I mean, like that pack is 30. You can get it for 35, depending on the color. If you just get a mixed pack, it's all them colors. So it's 35, but there is 10 in there, so that's £3.50 each.
You know what? I don't mind paying if they've got a decent amount of smoke and it'll last for a decent amount of time. I mean, some of these airsoft ones, you get them and they're like, okay,
These are 25-second ones.
25. It's better than the airsoft ones. They charge you like £7, £8, £9, £10, and they're literally gone in 3 seconds. It's like literally a poof like that. It's gone. But these are probably like you said, 25 seconds is quite decent. And people might ask, why would you need something like this in your kit? Well, I mean, you could be stranded on a mountain, you could be stranded in your car, you could be stranded on a boat, you could be, in loads of situations you could use it.
So this is an expensive
Sometimes
one,
you need
obviously,
smoke.
but these EG18s you see here, they will
Yeah.
go for about a minute and a half at full smoke. So they're like really good, but you are paying for it, But
well, I mean, if it's to do with your life, I mean, to be honest, I mean, 126 quid, if it saves someone's life or it's a bargain.
yeah, so there you go. Look, 60 seconds on the top pull one there. I like these. They don't go for as long, but they vent out of both sides.
Wow,
so it's like a quicker coverage. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Rather than waiting, because any of these smoke grenades, even the good ones, you throw them and the first like 5 or 10 seconds, it's like, come on, let's appear, come on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, 50-second there, 90-second there.
That's very good. I mean, for something line of sight. If that's done in front of someone, I mean, the longer one, the ones that you want for longer is when it's not in front of someone, but these ones would be useful if it's in front of someone.
Yeah, it's a nice to have, but we just hope to avoid all situations like that, right? It's a good signal one, especially the colors, like you say, especially if it's to land on a roof and stuff like that.
Okay, you've got your ham radio. You're in a convoy. You're going up a mountain. All of a sudden, there's loads of fog. The guy behind has got a flat tire. You don't know what's going on. The radio's gone down, and maybe having some kind of signaling device, any kind of signaling device, is useful.
Yeah, especially if it's like this and it's an unnatural color, you're going to notice it, right?
Yeah, and you can't contact your friend. Your friend's got a flat tire in a convoy. You might, you're up a mountain. Something's happened. You might have a flare. Even mind you, the flares here we got are rubbish. I mean, I don't know where have you ever seen a decent flare over here?
Only from people that sell safety supplies for ships and boating and stuff like that. Not from like places like this, but for like if you go to like a mariner's place or a marina and they've got the safety gear there, sometimes they'll have quite good ones there.
Yeah, it's all everything in this country is all specialist. this, specialist that. You can't get this, you can't get that. Yeah, I mean, in America, you can go into Walmart and get things like that.
Yeah.
Flares.
Yeah.
What's it like in Sweden? Can you just go and get flares and sort of like
I
hardware?
can get those for airsoft, those smoke grenades, and they have a lower quality, and they have some of higher quality that has a longer burning time. So that's nice. But they are quite expensive here.
I might take a couple to the Scottish Prepper meet and show people how they work. That should be interesting. I'm sure the campsite owners won't mind.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. You know,
Yeah.
because all signaling, emergency, and help is going to be necessary in the future. It's very important. That's maybe a skill set in itself. Having knowledge of, signaling in emergencies. Even from leaving messages. What's a good way of leaving other than having a waterproof notepad and pen? What's another way of leaving a message? A twisted branch? I don't know. Maybe there's loads of. Maybe that could be an interesting topic in the future.
Yeah.
How to leave messages without any pen and paper.
Yeah, complete off-grid comms is an interesting subject because things like smoke signals are obviously a lost art, are very specialist and things like that.
Yeah.
But if it was complete, like let's say EMP for argument's sake, there will be people that have stuff in Faraday bags and cages and stuff like that, but that's going to be few and far between. So, what alternative methods are there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we see in some emergency videos where some people might say, "Yeah, maybe leave an arrow pointing in the direction that you left." But usually, I think in emergency situations they say, "Stay put." I think that's the usual advice they say if you're sort of stranded in a wilderness situation.
Yeah.
Initially, to stay put with your vehicle. Yeah, parachute flares, Scottish peppers that put there.
Yeah, you can get those here, but they are most used for boats.
Yeah. Yeah. Seagull parachute rocket flare. It'll set you back anywhere between 10 and 30 pounds, depending on the size of the flare.
It's all right.
But these are cool. If you look up Orion Safety Alerter, it's the classic flare you see in most Hollywood films where it's a little red gun and it's like a little flare gun like that. You can pick them up, but they're like 80 odd pounds.
Yeah, just in case, Jaws is coming at us,
That's it, yeah. Throw a gas tank. You throw the gas tank, I'll use the flare.
Yeah.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
Definitely, yeah.
Classic movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the mentality of the local sort of authorities. The beach is not dangerous. It's okay. Don't worry about the 30-foot great white shark with big teeth.
Up the road, you know how they have Weatherspoons all over the UK and they name them usually after something related? So like in Birmingham, there's the Penny Black related after the stamp. The one not far from me is called the Robert Shaw because Robert Shaw from Jaws, he was from West Orton down the road.
Wow.
So they've got all the pictures of him up there as well.
That's cool. Great movie. Great. I think there was 3 of them.
Yeah. Nothing ever beats the original though, right?
No, never. Like
Jaws 1 was the best. Jaws 2 was okay. Jaws 3 was just stupid.
What about The Meg?
Yeah.
Mega Jaws or whatever.
That one.
It's just like Predator. The first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one was third one, Alien versus Predator. That was interesting,
But getting silly at that point.
It also brings to light things going on in Antarctica. So let's go with that.
And then the other one with the guys falling out of the sky was just complete rubbish. Yeah.
What's that one?
The Predator. What is it? Predator? What is it? Predators.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
The more recent one. Yeah. Yes. They get silly with these sequels, but you know.
No, the one after that, even the one after that, where there was a big one versus a small one. Was it the?
Somebody will know.
Oh, crap. I don't know if that was Alien versus Predators.
I think he mean Predators.
Soldier finds the helmet, sends the helmet back to his son.
Yeah, that's Predator.
Yeah, just got rubbish.
So we have the most recent one was Prey. Then 2010 was Predators.
Yeah.
And then it was Predator 2 in 1990. That was Danny Glover. AVP was 2004. Predator Badlands is another one. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Yeah.
Is that a new one? Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Just, I mean, talk about milking a franchise. It's never going to be Arnold. Come on, kill me now.
Get to the chopper. Get to the chopper.
You're one ugly son of a bitch.
What are you? What are you? Ah.
Did you ever see the thing? I know we're completely off topic here from prepping, but the original Predator was originally going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
In some sort of green lizard suit. There's pictures you can find of it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It looked ridiculous. No, I would. No wonder he didn't want to play that part.
Yeah, well, apparently he was a proper prima donna on the set as well, so they didn't like him doing it.
But you know what? This is actually, it's not too far away from talking the subject we're talking about, skills, because we've gone a long way from being scared of wolves and predators in the wild, but have we? If all of a sudden we was thrown back into that situation, what kind of skills have we got to defend against predator potentially now we've become, there's predators after the prey again. Yeah, we've become the prey. Wow, all these dogs escaped the city. They've made a pack, and they're now looking for food. They're rummaging, and what have we got against it? What skills have we got? Not only about the elements, fire, water. We talk about fire, water. What about wild animals?
Well,
in the states, they've got bears, they've got wolves. Chef,
I'm sorry. I'm literally trying to log on my other iPad and get off my phone because I'm down to like 20%, and my dog is fighting with me with a ball. So go figure. I'm gonna hop off for a second. I'm gonna come back on. I think my picture turns into my German Shepherd. So give me a minute.
No worries.
no problem. I mean,
I think somebody need to explain what is 99 quid.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What is it? 99 quid? 99 pounds?
Oh look, I'm there twice. God, I'm ugly. It's all right. That one will go away in a second.
We've got double raccoons.
It's easily. I already logged off on the other one. My phone is done, so it's just sitting there doing nothing. Go away, you rabid thing.
Andy GB78 says XL bullies in a pack versus crossbow. I don't fancy your chances with a crossbow. In your reload time, you would be eaten.
You see things like that.
Hey, Jared,
Exactly.
just make the other raccoon go away. He's freaking me.
Well,
Oh, there we go. He's gone.
I live near London Zoo. I mean, what if the lions got out, tigers got out? Yeah, have a spear, guys. I'd say, okay, have a spear. What did the cave people do when they fought, wild animals?
Spear, bows.
I think you've got some kind of spearhead, haven't you, Shadow?
Yeah.
I've got the what's it called? Survival knife from Raven Forge, which can be made into a spear.
Interesting. Have you got a picture of it?
I can. Do you know what? Wait a second. I'll grab it.
All right. Well, interesting. Yeah, things like that would be handy.
Yeah, there you go.
All of a sudden, you've got a pack of dogs. There you go.
You better be fast swinging that thing and not let go, because they're going to be coming at you from all directions.
Yeah, maybe have a spear tip on both ends, and one in the middle. A double one in the middle.
I think somebody just said they live near a zoo. Yeah, I live near the Washington D.C. It's a zoo.
That's me. I live near a zoo. Yeah, imagine I Am Legend, Chef. All of a sudden you're there and you've got deer running around, lions.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be anywhere near the freaking city if it ever gets to that. I might go in there and look for stuff way later, but in the beginning of a situation, yeah, no, that's the furthest thing that's the one thing I'm getting the furthest away from is every big city, period.
If they escape from the zoos, they could easily escape into the countrysides.
Oh yeah. No, I'm talking about the people animals that live down there, not the animals.
Yep.
That whole city is rabid. I'm not talking about the animals in the cages.
So I like what Shadow's got, the spear, but
that's awesome. Yeah,
can't get it over here. I've looked after we saw it last time. I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. This is from Raven Forge, so it's made from. I think it's originally made from like a rail spike. It's a single piece of steel all the way through, formed.
Oh, you put a wood handle in there. Yeah, cool.
Exactly. So it's got a good grip as it is. If anything, it is a bit slidey if it got wet, but you can put something in there. It's got a hole there, so you could make it a bit permanent and put a nail or something or a stud through there.
Is that legal to have over there? That's
completely. Yeah.
So,
I mean, you couldn't walk around the street with it. It's not illegal to carry, but definitely legal to own.
Yeah, it's legal to own. Yeah, but in an SHCF situation, and the good thing about that is you can always fashion some kind of handle in the field.
And for no apparent reason whatsoever, I upgraded our plastic brush for this solid wooden handle brush. Totally unrelated subject, you know.
That's nice. I like the wood style. Yeah, it beats the plastic. It's more recyclable and environmentally friendly.
Yeah, nothing to do with what I've just shown you, but
not a thing.
Hey, hold on a second. Is that the famous broom from Only Fools and Horses?
Oh yeah, I've had the same broom for 37 years. It's had 10 new heads and 3 new handles. Classic. This is my latest one. Raven Forge are great, by the way. This only cost £14.99 on the sale at Raven Forge. And that's a solid full tang Bowie knife, wooden inset handles. This is proper wood, not like the plastic. It comes in one of these neoprene cases, which I hate. So I picked up this one instead, just, because I liked it.
Is that for your bug out bag?
That's for my EDC if there's no rule of law. But,
yeah, basically.
And they've got a sale on at the moment. I don't have any affiliation with them, by the way. I'm not just plugging them. But Raven Forge, my Discord group is obsessed with it now because they'll send you constant offers. They do mystery bags. They'll do a weekend where they send you a free knife if you order something. And they've got a sale on. And she's gone to bed. I've not just ordered a military combat knife and a new machete. I've not just ordered.
Hey, Mike, the guy that just commented, Snooker, is that the guy you mentioned the other day? Say, hey, that's Mark's the guy to talk to about your freeze dryer. Is that him?
No, it's he's in the chat. It's Scottish Prepper 73 who's in the chat.
Okay.
Snooker did join my live the other day.
I was gonna say, if he's
new
over
to
there, I'm
prepping.
not sure about the investment part of it in terms of money, because you said they're like wicked expensive over there.
Yeah, you're looking like between $4,000 at the cheap end.
Yeah, that's probably for an American import for the harvest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck
Well,
on the warranty on that too, because you're overseas. That makes it more difficult. I had an issue with mine, and they just sent me a new board. I did it myself. They were happy. I videotaped the whole thing, sent it to them. They're like, "We're good." Then I realized it wasn't the board; it was another wire. So now I have two boards just in case one goes bad. Hope they're not listening right now.
Do you know what? It's a good investment over here if you're willing to do it as a bit of a business. Because so little people have freeze dries over here. If you got one and started selling freeze dried sausages on prepper forums, people would snap your hands off for them. You know what I mean? Because they just don't get them over here. You could make your money back on it.
You do have to be careful. There are guidelines, laws, rules, regulations, things about reselling what would be determined food. So you got food handling. It all depends on who you're selling it to.
Well, we don't sell it as food. We sell it as for research purposes only.
Oh, there you go. Check it in 25 years and let me know how the research went.
Yeah.
So for me, I bought one because I do everything else. I had a dehydrator. I just been stepping up my game for a very long time. And I finally just bit the bullet over here. The freeze dry, the Harvest Right 4 tray in American cost me, I think it was like $1,500 or $1,800. But on top of that, that's not just a freeze dryer. You need the Mylar bags. You need the oxygen absorbers. And you kind of need to have a freezer with some empty space in it to pre-freeze stuff to speed up the process. It's an electric issue. There's a lot of little mini things involved. But for me, because I get food in bulk really cheap from a lot of my restaurant people. And I'll buy, I pick up like 4 or 5 whole beef top rounds. I'm talking like, 40 pounds each. I'll trim them up and then I'll do things to it. I'll either do it raw or I'll sous vide it and I'll freeze dry it and throw it in a bag. And then I now have medium rare steak. I just have to dip it in warm water. And I got medium rare steak 2, 3, 5, 10, 12 years later. And I'm already up to, I think I'm into my 4th year now.
Quick question on that. When rehydrating them, our good friend Nate, who is a top quality prepper that we all know of, I'm sure. When he did a video on it the other day, he was rehydrating them in seasoned water. Is that a good idea? Does that work?
So yeah, it depends. I've seen people that are like, "Oh, I'm going to rehydrate it in butter." No, it doesn't work like that because the molecules are too big. Basically, whatever came out, that's what's going back in. You can salt your water, and the sodium chloride will dissolve into the water, and the molecules are within it. It may take a little longer to rehydrate, but you will get some salt flavor. Putting pepper and stuff in there, no, it doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
So if you season it before you freeze dry, now if he's rehydrating, off the shelf stuff, Mountain House stuff like that, you're kind of stuck with their flavor profile.
Of course, yeah.
For me, I make my food the way I like it. Soup, stew, beef, you name it. I make it the way I like it. I just keep the fat content low because fat has no water and does not freeze or freeze dry. So you got to keep it below like 8 to 10%. And I freeze dry it, but I weigh it. I'll make my portion size, say it's 8 ounces, and then or 1.1 kilos. I'm getting good at this metric shit. Sorry.
I do ounces and inches. You're all right.
It's like 8 ounce weight is my portion size depending on what I'm doing. I'll weigh it 8 ounces. I'll put it in the trays and separators. And when I freeze dry, I weigh it when it comes out. And now it only weighs, say, 1 ounce. So I write on the bag, add 7 ounces of water.
Ah, right. Okay. Yes.
I heat up 7 ounces of water, pour it in there. It's perfect. Nice.
Good idea. Yeah, I like that. I was just pulling this up to show everyone in the UK what I was on about. Raven Forge, they're called. Free worldwide shipping, so it's not just the UK. But I've just picked this up, which is on the sale. Was 40, now 15. Everything I've had from there is absolutely solid and really good quality. They are the original makers of this. People might have seen this on TikTok and YouTube, and it's the pizza axe. So it's like a Viking axe, but for cutting pizzas.
Oh yeah, I recognize
that was their claim to fame sort of thing, and that's how they got like really big. But you can see here,
Get a longer handle with that because for really big pizzas.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for a midget. That's for a midget fighter.
Yeah, that's it. But look, I mean, you just look here. 30 originally. I paid 30. I have the Gardener one, which is this one upstairs, and I paid 30 for it, and it was still really good quality. But they're all down to 10. The sales are ridiculous when they do have them. And if you're into the movies, they do all the movie stuff as well, of course. You know, if you want to run around like Assassin's Creed after the apocalypse, then that's your place. But there's your bigger one. There's for your bigger pizza. But here's a spear for you. Shadow, check that out.
Yeah.
The Spear of Odin.
Nice.
It could get your armor on if you wanted your armor, I suppose. But yeah, there's it's cool. They're really good lads. It's funny. When I first ordered off them, they were a smaller business, and they'd send like signed cards and photos of them doing it behind the scenes because they do forge all their own stuff. So
as long as they're still forging their own stuff and didn't like sublet it out to some other foreign country that nobody wants to talk about these days.
No, they definitely do all this. Do they still do the rail spike one? Let's see if it's So these are fashioned from rail spikes, so a single piece. See,
that's cool.
How they forged them. That's a huge rail spike sword. So yeah, they've got some really cool stuff. It's ravenforge.com if anyone's interested. I have no affiliation at all. I just like it, so why not?
Yeah, but they love the free advertising.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Yeah.
I would love some free stuff. No, but yeah, generally I've used them because I have used different places in the past. There was a place in Scarborough called Ancient Warrior, but I've had some stuff off there when it looks on the picture full tang and you get it and it's just imitation full tang, so the blade would come out. So I kind of lost trust with places like that.
Yeah.
There's a super chat there. I don't know if that's come through on my side. If it has, thank you. I'm not sure because it's got the link in it. But amazing advice, Mike and Chef. Thank you. That's what it's all about for me. I want to freeze dry things. I like and prep things I'm into. Well, it's a big investment, Snooker. And if you do make it, let me know. And I'm your man to. I'll bring the food. You freeze dry it. You keep half. I take half.
And Mike will call me, and we'll do a live stream together, so I can give you some better hints, tips, and tricks while you're doing it.
That's it. So at least we'll be eating good. Come the apocalypse.
Shadow, do you have Mike's email?
It's just my UK Urban Prepper at gmail.com.
Oh, okay. I'll send you one. It'll be from Chef Tech, something@something.com.
Yeah. Chuck me an email. That's not a problem. That'd be cool. This is the downside. I've shown you guys Raven Forge, and now I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Should never go on this site near payday. It's bad times.
Emily
say UK Urban Prepper at gmail.com?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What was that? DC has the astronaut freeze dry. I've seen that. There was a thing called Firebox, a website over here. It sold all sorts of weird random gadgets. It was good for gifts, and they had it on there.
I remember that.
Yeah, you remember Firebox? It was fun because they had a section called Lottery Win, and it was like the full Iron Man suit. But they had that, but I've never tried it.
Yeah, right now I know what's talking about freeze dryers. There's like another company or two that are pop-ups. They're people that worked at the main company at Harvest Right, open up their own, but and I'm not sure. I've never heard anything about it. People are like, oh, it's much cheaper. I'm like, okay, you get what you pay for. Yeah. And I don't know anything about it. So I won't buy anything until it's been out for a few years and I can see reviews, people using it. And I'm not talking YouTube stuff. I'm talking like actually talk to people and say, no, this thing is a piece of crap. Or no, it's as good as the Harvest Right. It's cheaper and I can do more things with it or the same things. So.
Yeah. I'm surprised we've not got the Temu version of a freeze dryer yet. £200 delivered. See how that works.
Yeah, but then you got more. See, as like I said, at least The harvest rate, they got a pretty good. It's a 1-year warranty, and my board blew up literally at like 11 months and 22 days.
Yeah.
And I called them, and I had to download and give them my. It's a data thing. You stick a USB drive in there and download it, and then they wanted the file just to see what's going on. And then I showed them a video of what's going on. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's the board. We'll send you a board." I'm like, "They're like, do you need somebody to put it in for you?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I'll take it apart. I have no issues. I was a Ford Master Tech, so I think a few nuts and bolts and screws and a couple wires on an electric board are fine." Which I was. It was great. I took it apart. I'm like, "Well, at least I know how it's put together now."
Well, this is it. Yeah. Why are they so expensive? What in there is like the most expensive elements?
So you got the software, you got the computer. The computer has algorithms built into it to sense the temperature versus the vacuum. There's a vacuum pump. The vacuum pump's pretty pricey. It's got a built-in freezer. I mean, it freezes the chamber down to like 20 below. And then you got the vacuum going on there with the hoses and the lines. And then it's got a heater circuit that heats the trays. So basically, freeze drying is not, you're taking a frozen water, and instead of it going from frozen state to liquid state to vapor state, it skips the liquid state. It goes right from frozen to liquid. And there's a term for it. And it just evaded me. So it goes right from frozen to liquid. So you don't get that freezer burn problem like you do if you stick something in the freezer without wrapping it up well. You open it up like 6 months later, there's snow on the outside of the package.
Yeah.
And it stinks because it's freezer burned.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, and the software, I watched another guy talk about the logarithm for it, where it monitors the vacuum going up and down versus the temperature going up and down to tell you approximately when it's done, which is its own downfall. They're like, "Oh, the freeze dryer said it's done. It must be done. Let me pack it in the bag." And then 3 days later, it's squishy inside because all the water wasn't out. So it can only be so accurate. There's no sensors to plug into stuff and to see make sure it's done. You just got to use common sense, logic, and science. So, and it's not just some box with a vacuum pump on it, basically.
Yeah.
If it was, I'd have made my own by now, but it's a cylinder. It's got a super thick plexiglass door because you're putting, I think I've had mine down as low as 320 torr, which is, it's a vacuum. It's not like space, but it's getting there. But, yeah, you need all that. I mean, there's technology involved. It's not like you can just slap it together with stuff from the local big box store.
Yeah. That's cool. Right, I need to close Raven Forge off. Right, stop.
Yeah, I shot you a test email quick. You probably have it already. Hopefully. Didn't bounce back to me. Just says test.
Yep, I got you.
Perfect.
Cool.
That dog is a talker, Chef. Okay.
Yeah.
On that note, Shadow, thanks for having us on the show again. Always learning things as well. Sharing ideas is cool. Nice to speak to you, Mike and Chef.
Always a pleasure, Daryl. Always a pleasure.
Everyone in the chat, God bless you all. God bless you, Shadow.
Yeah. God bless you too.
Have a nice rest of the weekend.
Oh,
See you all soon.
Full week off.
Lovely.
That's awesome.
See you soon, Daryl.
Take care. Good night, all.
Later.
Take care. Daryl.
You can't. So, like I said earlier, fat is fat. There's no water in it. So you're not freeze drying it. And I could get into the candy aspect of freeze drying, which is just that's not freeze drying. That's just expanded sugar. But no, you can't really freeze dry. I bought pork loins, trimmed all the fat off of it, and cut them into my steaks, and I freeze dried them raw. So when they come out, I just add cold water to it. You know, when I add hot water, I'll add some cold water to it to let them rehydrate back into a boneless pork chop, and I'll throw it on the grill. And I did the same with raw flounder. I have 8-ounce flounder fillets. I just freeze dried them whole, put them in big bags. Now I got fresh flounder that when I rehydrate it, it just tastes like fish because that's all it is. I don't put seasonings or anything in there. But fat, like bacon, if you're going to do bacon, you want to cook it first. But there's no moisture in it. That's the thing. So I'll add bacon bits to like fresh bacon bits to like mashed potatoes with cheese and stuff like that. Certain cheese, you have to watch out for that with the fat content. But I freeze dried my loaded mashed potatoes, and they're great. And they crumble up nice and soft. And I just add hot water to it, the amount I took out, like 3 ounces. And I have my homemade loaded cheesy mashed potatoes with bacon.
So with the mashed potatoes, do you fully like cook up the potatoes and make the mash with the butter, everything you'd like?
Potatoes the way, and they're hot, and I eat them the way they are. I like it. I taste it, and then I put it in the trays at portion size. Let it cool down. I pre-freeze it, even though the freeze dryer will freeze it for you. It just takes a lot longer, but I'll pre-freeze my stuff, and then
in a normal freezer.
Yeah, in a rare freezer. My freezer goes down to 20 below, so I'll put it in there on trays and freeze it. And then when it's frozen, I'll put it on the regular freeze dryer trays, or I do it right in the freeze dryer trays. Yeah. I just start up the freeze dryer, let it pre-cool until it gets down to about the same temperature as my freezer. Throw them in there, say go, and it'll tell me. And I always add like 12 hours to the time because sometimes it's done in the middle of the night, and it shuts the heaters off. So now it just gets cold at a vacuum. Now I got to turn it back on again, start it up again. So I always put a ton of extra time just in case I'm sleeping or had to go to work.
Yeah,
but we'll say anybody wants to do it and gets one. Yeah, by all means, shoot me an email. We'll figure something out.
That's cool. Dina has said in the chat, "Oh dear, my shopping basket on Raven Forge is already in triple digits." This is the problem. Listen, if you're spending triple digits at Raven Forge, even though there's no affiliation, put in the little notes. UK Urban Prepper sent me from YouTube. You never know; they might approach me.
Yeah. Wait for the video. Wait for the video to post if he lets it post, and then send them the link and say about right around hour 3:30. That's when we start talking about you.
Yeah. No, it is. It's easily done. It's. I think all preppers have that issue, right? We're spenders. Do you have that issue, Shadow? Are you into the gadgets when it comes to prepping, or?
Yeah, I like gadgets. I like gear.
More multi-tools than hands.
Yeah.
I'm the unfortunate side of when I go out shopping for food net, if I see something large that's cheap, I buy it. And now I'm out of freezer space, and I have 4 freezers, and they're full. And I got to start freeze drying. My daughter's moving, and she ran hers empty, so she's going to go shopping here in about a month. I'm like, just bring the 2 48-quart coolers. Take what you want. I'll refill it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, it's bad because I go on the auctions over here. So we have like house clearance auctions and things like that. So I use the auctions and sell stuff at like flea markets and car boot sales to make a bit of money extra. And they always have chest freezers and large freezers. And do you know what they go for? They go for £3.
Really?
Nobody buys them. Nobody buys the big stuff.
Too big. They use too much electricity. I can't afford that, and I have no place for it.
And I'm like, oh, if I had the room, I would have a room of chest freezers.
Yeah. And you'd buy stock in the electric company out there.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to get the solar, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's insane. You get them on there all the time.
Yeah, right there in 2020, and what was going on then. I bought 2 chest freezers right in the beginning of 2020, and I got them normal price. And 6 months later, you couldn't get them. 6 months after that, they were triple the price because everybody was prepping.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we kind of had a weird. We have that in waves over here. So like, nobody thinks long term. Like, well, I'm not saying nobody. You know, I obviously do. The other preppers in the UK do, but a lot of people don't. So you want to buy camping stuff, wait till after summer and get it for next to nothing on Facebook Marketplace because people tried camping and didn't know they'd hate it.
Yeah. You want a winter sleeping bag, buy it in the summertime. You want a summer sleeping bag, buy it in the wintertime.
Yeah, and the amount of so people have been buying up all these deltas and the power banks and stuff like that because of what's happened in Spain. You give it 2 or 3 months when they're thinking, I need some money to go out on the drink, you'll soon start seeing them appear on the marketplace for next to nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, very short-term thinking.
Yeah, here's my wrong way. Where's my screen flip? Come on, camera. 4. Oh fuck it! I can't flip. I don't know how to flip the screen on the iPad.
Just turn it.
That's my German Shepherds howling at the sirens nearby.
Dog singing a tune.
Yeah. Definitely.
How did your I've not spoke to you since your long journey, how did that go? Did you use any of your little preps that you took along with you, or was it uneventful?
Some of it.
Yeah,
Some of it.
it looked nice, the countryside that you were going through. I saw the shots for that.
Yeah, the first 2 clips was from the southern part, and the other 2 was from the northern part.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked really nice. I love a long train journey. I love a long train journey. Good time to reflect on one's own thoughts, right?
Yeah, the reason I take some extra gear with me is you never know if a train like that gets stuck somewhere in because of the power line go down.
Yeah.
You can be standing there in the middle of nowhere, and you have very limited in the bistro, very little.
Yeah.
And it's not like the dining car has enough food to last them 2 extra days.
No.
And the price will kill you.
Yeah, well, they would still charge, right?
It's ridiculously high for a cup of coffee or a sandwich, and it's not even doesn't taste good either.
Oh no, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's one step above hospital food in this country. Train food.
So that's why I take my own food with me.
First time I've seen you on the panel, UK Urban Prepper, but I've been around too much. Not been around too much the past month or so. Yeah, I've been on quite a few times now. I had Shadow over on my channel on a podcast, so if you've not seen that yet, that's worth checking out as well.
So I always have a knife with me, a cordage.
What's the rules for knife carry where you are?
Well, more or less illegal.
There's a certain, like, because obviously here it's got to be below 2.5-inch blade and non-locking. That's the rules here.
Below that, you can't even have that on you either.
Really? Wow.
No.
There
are some exceptions to the law, but you need to prove that while you have it, you need to prove that what you are going to use it for.
Yeah, like if you're going fishing or something like that, or campcraft.
Fishing, camping.
I mean, what do you think of that as a rule? Because for me, it baffles me that, we've got incidents over in this country, like 12 people got stabbed in not so long ago in Europe, and I can't remember, was it Germany? Potentially. There was an attack and 12 people got stabbed. And all I keep thinking to myself is when I was in Texas, where there was like open carry laws, he wouldn't have got that far with a knife. he really wouldn't have got that far with the knife. And I just feel like we're slowly making ourselves completely defenseless.
Yeah, that is the problem. And the problem is, let's say, if you want an EDC knife, I mean, that put us as preppers in a very difficult position because you need something to cut with.
Mm-hmm.
I have my Leatherman in this side of, and some extra gauze. I mean, my Leatherman Wave, okay?
Yeah.
This is more like of a tool for me.
Yeah.
I have used this a lot, basically.
I think my Leatherman, the pliers get used the most in my Leatherman.
Yeah, I have used
I had to trade my Leatherman
pliers.
for a Gerber. The pliers were stronger because my needle nose pliers get used all the time.
Yeah, you found the Gerber better?
So my older Leatherman, none of the blades lock. I know the new ones do, but my daughter gave me a Gerber like 5 years ago, and all the blades lock, so they don't fold up on my finger. And I'm like, and this is great. It's a little thicker, a little heavier, but I don't care. I just use it at work and carry it around whenever. But I still have all my Leathermans in my bags and stuff here and there. But I like the Gerber. And
yeah, that's the problem because they've changed the laws over here. Your locking blade on your Leatherman is now illegal to carry around.
They just need to make the Leatherman so when you open the blade and fold the handle back up, the handle itself will keep the blade from folding up. See, they just need to redesign it a little bit.
Yeah, see, I've got an British military multi-tool, and that's how that works. It's not a locking blade, but when you clasp the handle together, it holds it in place that way. So that's quite cool. I do like that one.
Yeah, I like that. I've folded a blade on my finger once or twice in my life. Not a fun day.
Too.
Never a fun day.
But it lets you test your first aid though, right?
Yeah, that's why I carry crazy glue and duct tape. It was a nice clean slice. Just squeeze it back together again, glue it up, and tape it shut. In 3 days, it's healed. Well, it's healed to the point where it's not bleeding anymore.
Okay, what you might get away with.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor. That's what I've done. And yeah, you wind up with a little white pussy stuff coming out eventually because, little minor infections from whatever you were cutting with the blade is now inside your body.
Okay, Mike. What you might can get away with is this.
A glorified nail cleaner.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it got silly after when they started taking crochet needles off people on planes,
How come they haven't taken like pens and pencils away from people?
Well, it was. I understand the fear side of it. It was shortly after 9/11. My parents have a tour company. They used to go to America about 9 times a year, and my mum used to do crochet on the plane. That's how she occupied her time.
Yeah,
and they took the needles off her, and I just kept thinking to myself, the only reason that happened, which was a tragic event, was because people feared for their lives, and they thought if they sit down and don't do anything, they'll get out of this situation alive. It'll never happen again because everyone's just going to rush them because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like United 93, was it, that heard about what was happening and then tried to rush them?
Yeah, I have my doubts about the storyline there, but that's me.
But still, you get what I'm saying, right?
Oh,
people fear for their lives and they think they're going to get out of it. They'll sit down and do as they're told. But
and then you got like the shoe bomber, where it didn't go off but it smoked.
Yeah.
And the underwear bomber, and they're going to find a way to do something, and yeah.
Yeah, it's madness. But yeah, the only people that ever are affected by the laws, the EDCs, what you can carry, what you can't carry, etc., are the law-abiding citizens. And often, it's not the law-abiding citizens that are doing the crimes, believe it or not. So The
No.
only thing these rules affect are people.
Criminals are defined as a criminal because they don't follow the law.
Yeah, so changing them makes no fucking difference.
Right. It's against the law to carry that knife here. It's like, I don't care. I'm a criminal. Screw you. That means you don't have a knife. That means I have the upper hand. So, hey.
Yeah, thanks for free reign. That's what you've just.
Yeah.
Madness. Oh, thank you for posting the channel there.
Yeah, she
Appreciate
asked me if I was like, or whoever. I was like, yeah, I had to go on my phone and do it.
I always forget the chat. So
Yeah,
it was skills. The whole topic was skills, right? That's what we were on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a question for both of you is, what skills do you not have that you think you'd like to learn before an event?
I have to think about that.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not saying, oh, I know everything. I'm a smart guy. I mean, I have lots and lots and lots of skills that I know they serve me well daily and weekly, monthly, whenever I'm doing stuff. I mean, first aid, I know real basic first aid, but then again, I'm married to a nurse. So if she's not around, yeah, I mean, I've fixed myself up more. I've stitched myself. I mean, I've done things my whole life in Boy Scouts and that most people would be like, how could you do that? That had to hurt. I'm like, yeah, it hurt, but it beats bleeding out.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. I've endeavored into so many things in my life where I don't do it frequently, but like welding, I know how to weld. I know how to braze. I know how to cut with a torch. I know how to use plasma cutters, all that stuff. If I have the equipment, I just don't have the equipment. I've done it. I could do it if I had to. Woodworking, I do woodworking. I mean, I got lots of tools. I do a lot of woodworking.
Yeah.
Cooking, obviously. Went to culinary school and that. Mechanic, I was a Ford Master Tech. I mean, I could run my resume down. You could be like, well, why are you even on here? I like to bring it to the table and help other people learn stuff. And but I mean, in terms of what skills, yeah, I'd really probably need to know a little bit more on the first aid side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's other little things. Every now and then something will spark my interest and I'll delve into it. And I'll figure it out, learn it, and then I move on.
Yeah.
So ADHD has its positive notes sometimes.
Yeah. You throw yourself into stuff massively, and then till the next thing captures your interest.
I'm done. Yep. I'm the master of unfinished projects in the house.
What about you, Shadow?
Well, I'm pretty good to navigate at sea, but I need to actually use a map and compass. That is something I need to learn actually, because I suck at that.
But I mean, I assume you served a bit of time in the forces, so I assume you learned it at one point. Is it just a lack of practice?
A lot of lack of practice.
Yeah. I try and map everywhere, even if it's in the car instead of a sat nav. I like to use a map, just to keep that skill honed, as it were. But it's map readings is a lot of people take for granted because of technology. That's the thing, isn't it? Right? A lot of these skills are starting to get lost because people rely on technology.
Yeah, that's a huge problem. My one daughter used to freak out. She's like, you know where I live, right? She was up in Jersey, way north up there near the city. I was like, yes. And I pull up Google Earth and it's, zoomed in on Japan at the time. So I swing it around, find New Jersey, and 3 zooms and I'm looking at her patio on her roof. She's like, how the hell do you do that? I'm like, because I have a good sense of direction.
Yeah.
I know where things are. I know about where you're located. As I zoom in, I'm like, okay, you're over here this way. Oh, there you are. Oh, there's that yellow thing. Whoop, there's your patio. Oh, look, there's you on the patio. Oh, crap, I'm not going to zoom in on that anymore. Oh, my God, the satellite took a picture. I'm like, yeah, unless you're paying extra money, you ain't zooming in to get details now.
No, it's technology is it's a great tool, but it's also throwing us out because but I do it. I don't know if it's an autopilot thing, but I drive the same 3 different routes I use to go to work. I like to vary it up and not do the same one every time, but I know them all. I could probably drive them half asleep. Often I probably do, but I still put it in the sat nav, even though I don't even look at it. It's like a habit. I get in and say work.
I'm going to a customer. I know where they're at. I've been there 20 times.
Yeah.
Or 50 or 100, but I'll plug it in. But I don't use it for the roads. I use it for the speed limits.
Right.
Half the time I can't see the signs or I miss the sign and I'll glance over at the screen quick, like, oh crap, it just went to 35. And I'll back off so I don't get a ticket because I'll get in trouble with my company if I start getting tickets. I have no tickets in 18 years, so I'm good.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get that. It's great. It's a great tool for that, but I don't know why I do it anymore because it's literally, I know this back to front. Yeah, I'm still in the habit of hitting the button to say, guide me to work. It's like, come on, you've been working there for 2 years. You know where the place is.
Yeah. Take me to work. Take me home. Take me to work. Take me home. I like to tell people, they're like, don't you ever get lost? I was like, look, lost is a relative term. I said, when I'm driving locally around here, I know, these 3 highways are all around me. So if I don't know where I am and I just keep going, I come to one of these highways, now I know where I am. If I'm beyond the highways, I know I'm within the state boundaries. If I'm out of the state boundaries, I know I'm between the Mississippi River and the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, you're never really lost. You're just misplaced.
Yeah.
It's not like the road ended and you're in a field somewhere and you can't see anything. I mean, you're on roads. There's signs everywhere. Learn how to read them and figure it out.
This is my pet peeve when Mrs. Urban Prepper's driving. It's like, where do I go next? There's a sign right there that tells you to turn left at this roundabout. Look at the sign.
Because my wife does that. Is it supposed to rain today? I'm like, gee, I don't know, honey. You have a 800-hour computer in your hand right now with the Weather Channel app on it. Do you think? And she just gives me a dirty look. I'm like, okay, I'll look it up for you on the same app on my iPad while I'm in the middle of doing something. Look, no, it's not going to rain. Oh, okay, good. I'm like, oh my God. You have technology. Now you just refuse to use it. You're too busy texting people and chatting.
Indeed, Anunnaki.
I get exactly the same. Exactly the same.
I think I said this joke the other day. My wife asked me to do dishes the other day. I said, I'm sorry, honey, I can't do that. Trump outlawed men and women's sports. That didn't go very far, but it was fun to say.
Yeah. You had that moment of...
Yeah, I had to get it in there somehow.
Oh, yeah, I either just, I don't even argue anymore. I either comply or go ultra sarcastic. That's my two default answers now. Yeah.
Hey, Tech Baby. Good to see you.
Hey, Tuck.
Oh.
So what time is it over there by you? You got to be getting near like midnight or something, aren't you?
Shadows at midnight. I'm at 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's 6 o'clock here, PM. So
I'm still on a high because my football team made it to basically got through to the Premier League today. So it was. I think
this technology we are currently using, I really think it's the coolest thing in terms of. Shadow will get on. I'll hop on. So he's over in Sweden. I'm in the States on the east side. Bob will get in. He's in the States on the west side. Somebody from Australia pops in. Another guy from India pops in. We're all over the world. And we're all at different times. And it's like we're all talking. It's like this is way cool.
Yeah.
Take care, Krista.
I had the same thing in lockdown. I think it kept me sane in lockdown. I had the Oculus, the Meta VR.
Oh, geez.
And I wasn't jumping around my front room pretending to be Tom Cruise. I just loved the online poker. So I was sat there with a bottle of red wine, with a headset on, playing poker with somebody from Indiana, someone from Texas, someone from Canada, someone from India. It was that at a table, and it was just chat. The cards didn't matter. It was just drinking a bottle of wine, talking to people from all over the world. That's the thing. Yeah, the networking is what you'll miss if we ever have a complete
Yeah, well,
That's
on the other half of that coin, the other side, the networking is something they didn't count on or predict during this whole lockdown thing.
Yeah.
They had no idea that all of a sudden people around the world are going to start talking to each other and now get to know each other and now understanding things everywhere. So kind of backfired on them, which I think is a good thing. It got us, we got stuck on our butt sitting in an office somewhere in a room, but we're still talking to people everywhere else, not just our neighbors.
Yeah, it opened a lot of eyes, I would say, definitely.
Also, a lot of rabbit holes for them.
Yeah.
A whole lot of those I went down going, wow, I never even thought about that, but okay. Man, we're not going to go into details on any of them.
Ah, it's the best way. I love a good rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you fall into one and there's 70 more down below that one going, now which way? Well, might as well just check them all out. I'll be here for about 2 years.
And before you know it, you're a flat earther.
There you go.
Oh.
I have my issues there too. But anyway.
You're a flat earther?
I won't say that, but I have questions. Lots of questions. Especially now that I have a freeze dryer with a vacuum chamber. Huh.
All right, okay. Interesting. Sounds like a longer topic for another day, maybe.
That is a long private topic. We'll go with that.
Yeah. I look forward to the email.
Yeah. I don't know if I can explain that in words. You would just like block me and be like, yeah, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Shut up.
I go to casinos wherever there are events of Texas Hold'em. Sometimes I catch up and participate. So, yeah, I'd love to, but it's not as prolific over here.
Yeah, I don't have the time for that. I used to do it with friends. You know, they'd party at the house, they have a pool table, and, you know, we'd play cards while people were playing pool and in between. And sometimes we do tournaments. Most times it was just like for quarters and stuff, but we played for real money. And we weren't there to, you know, retire. We were just there to have fun. It was cheaper than going to a bar.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to a friend's house that's a block away. You can walk. Bring your 6-pack with you. You know, drink your beer, play your cards, lose $20 or win $60. Who cares?
Yeah.
We were just there to have fun, and it was just good fun, and we all got along. And I missed those days because that was before 2019, and that happened, and now half of them moved away, and the rest of them won't talk to anybody. So,
yeah, I found the aftermath after that as kind of everything got a bit detached, even though all the rules got lifted. It just fizzled things out, and we used to have a regular game, which never, and it was the same sort of thing. Instead of like sitting there trying to fleece somebody for all the money, we'd just say, right, £10 buy in, winner takes all. Off you go.
Yeah, that's it. You throw your money in a pot and get your chips, and you play.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, somebody's got all the chips.
Yeah, I miss that.
Here's your $40. You win. Yay! Meanwhile, you lose a playing pool. So what's the difference?
Yeah, I do miss them days, but you know, is what it is. Instead, become a completely isolated, crazy prepper. That's the way you go.
Exactly. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
What's the easiest route up Kinder with?
What? Oh, I can't see the chat. Hold on.
I'm not sure what.
Was that on you're streaming it to your channel, right?
I am, yeah.
That's probably why I can't see it. I'm on Jaron's channel looking at his. Sometimes those chats don't come over. Oh wait, I got the other chat. Comments. There we go. What's the easiest? I can't even find that. Oh well. Oh, there we go. What's the easiest route up Kinder? I have no idea what that's supposed to mean.
No, I'm not sure either.
As a pensioner with a hangover. I still don't know what you're talking about, but
I think the seed saving is fairly in depth for certain veg like carrots or cabbage, but beans or peas are easy enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to start. That's when once I move. I think it's only going to be small scale, but I'm going to start on the growing my own because it's definitely a big gap.
Yeah.
Oh, Kinder Scout in the Peak District. I've never done it, Dave, so I'm not sure.
And I'm in the States, so I still have no idea what you're talking about.
I tend to avoid, like, I work for a company that sells walking holidays all over the world. So, you know, they sell different walking holidays and routes and stuff, but which I think is good, but I avoid routes. So there's like a Pendle mountain and stuff near me, and I've never gone up the tourist route. I always just think I'll find my way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's got to be a deer trail up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I
probably.
see the top, I'll get there. Whoops, now I'm climbing over dead. But okay.
It was interesting because the last time we went up Pendle, she was 6 months pregnant, and I said, she's like, "This is the path." I'm like, "No, I think we should go this way." So clambering through, she's pregnant behind me, and we got to a face like this, and it's like, we can climb this, it's fine. So I'm literally half climbing this rock face, trying to pull a pregnant wife up onto this. It's probably not the best idea.
You'd have been shot by now. But anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Listen, it worked. We achieved it. It's all good.
What time? Oh, look at that. We've gone at 4 hours. Wow. And I drove through like 4 different cities with my camera going. Now I'm sitting on my deck with my dog. That's awesome. I was glad to do that.
I loved seeing that. You know, I've been to Gettysburg. So yeah, I love seeing all that. A long time ago when I went.
I was going to take a more scenic route after that and go through all the apple orchards and that. I'm like, no, I got to go home. I got things I got to do. I'm not taking everybody on a tour with me.
Oh, well, so my stepdad started the American Civil War Society over here in the UK in the 70s. And so, like, I was brought up on that. So I've been to Gettysburg. I've been to Antietam. Been to all the sites there.
Antietam, yeah, it's literally 6 miles from where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I was young, but I remember it all very well.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they've got stricter. Because I remember when my stepdad went over, like when that was the 80s, I think, originally, when he went over there, you could still walk across parts of the battlefield and
now
find stuff and dig stuff out of trees and all sorts.
Yeah, they got fences up, they got signs everywhere, and you stay on the road. You know, you can walk up to the little statues they got everywhere with whatever battle happened there or some guy died. And you can walk up and read that. You can go to the parking lots, the museum areas. You can do all that, but you're just not allowed to wander anymore.
Yeah,
they got pretty strict just because people were tearing it up and people were coming out of nowhere trying to run out into the field looking for bullets and stuff and just digging the hell out of it. And most of it's farmland now. I mean, there's farmers that will farm the fields there, corn, wheat, whatever, and it's private property. Even though it's on state property or federal property, they farm.
Yeah, that's the same. So I've been to Waterloo, where the Battle of Waterloo was, and that's still active farms, and they're constantly turning over stuff. And you know, you can't go onto the fields, but yeah, they're still turning over parts of lead bullets and all sorts. You know,
yeah, people still find buttons and bullets and parts of guns and things out there. I mean, they're worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for a rotted out musket.
Oh yeah, well, my stepdad's got a collection that I inherit when he passes away. My mum's made sure I know that I inherit it because she's not dealing with it all. But he's got 2 glass cases about yay big, all different types of shots, even like grape shot from cannon and stuff like that, and written down which battlefield it's from.
Oh, cool.
He's got a 50-cent note, a Confederate 50-cent note, which is like it's like vacuum sealed into a case.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got all sorts like that. So that's going to be fun to sort through one day. But
not today.
we went to Belgium once as well, to Brussels, and we took an American tour group there. So they were Civil War reenactors who came over to the UK for a week did the international reenactment, then went to Europe for a week, and we ran that tour as like an opposite to what we usually do. And we got to Brussels, and they were digging up the side of the road, like in like Brussels, and they were turning over handfuls of spent ammunition, shells, all sorts. The Belgian army was there to take away anything that was extremely dangerous. But other than that, they were letting people just grab stuff. So we've sent all these American tourists back with handfuls. So one guy got a bayonet with a name carved in. One guy got a set of glasses that still had a lens in it. These are stuff you cannot buy from a gift shop.
No, that's definitely worth the trip right there.
My brother got a timer off the shell from a World War One front of a shell. It's like an old timer, and he's got it, and he picked it up because it looked like shrapnel sort of thing, and he started digging at it. He said, "My stepdad said, what are you doing?" He said, "Cleaning it out." He said, "Don't clean it out, because if it starts ticking."
Yeah. You got other problems going here. By the way, that's not going on the bus with us.
Yeah.
You can walk with that thing. Hey, so it looks like Shadow is like falling asleep here. He's probably going to get up for work in the morning. I'm watching him yawn.
No, it's Sunday, so I'm not working on Sundays.
Oh, okay.
But I have been up early yesterday, so I'm pretty tired now.
We'll let you get off then. I've got a million jobs that I'm still going to do tonight anyway, I think. I've still got stacks of dehydrated thin meats to bag up. So that's going to be my job for this evening.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, I'm having fun experimenting with a dehydrator. I could see how addictive it would be if I had a freeze dryer, but you know.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm up to like tub number 27. They're 30-quart tubs, if you know how big that is, like the size of a regular cooler. And
before we go off, what's the weirdest thing you've tried to freeze dry?
So I have freeze dried raw shrimp.
Okay.
That actually works. I freeze dried a Thanksgiving dinner, which is cooked turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, peas and carrots, stuffing, everything. They're all
together.
bags. And then I put it in one big bag, and each one has its own amount of water for it, depending on what it is. And yeah, I mean, if you want to talk strange, weird, I tried doing candy. I realized I didn't spend this much money on a machine to make candy out of candy. And freeze drying candy, I'm doing freeze dried Skittles, I'm going to sell them. It's like, yeah, you have fun with that. You don't need to run a freeze dryer full cycle because there's no water in there.
Yeah.
You basically heating up the sugar and putting a vacuum on it, and it expands it. So it's just expanded sugar candy. And you can make, and I did it, you can make freeze dried Skittles in about 12 minutes. Not 20 hours.
Yeah.
So you've got to preheat your candy to a certain temperature, put it in there, have the heater trays already on, running at $1.35 or $1.40. And then you turn the vacuum chamber on, and you do this in test mode. And you just watch the candy just get bigger. But I'm not, and doing freeze dried candy messes up the oil in your compressor, your vacuum compressor.
Yeah.
It turns it black. You get what they call Skittle oil, and it's worthless, and it'll mess your pump up. So I'm like, yeah, I did it twice. And I changed my oil right away. I'm like, never doing that. I have no need for freeze dried candy.
No, not with.
I'd rather be doing MREs and food that I got tons of it on sale, and I can put that in there. And
yeah,
I home can. So like we make when we can. My wife has her recipes for like different Spanish black beans, pink beans, you name it. We can it. But after about 3 years, if we still got like 10, 12, 15 jars left, the quality is going to degrade just in the jar. So I'll take them out of the jars, throw them on trays, and freeze dry it.
Yeah.
I just gained another 20 years out of it, and she's taking them to work. She's a nurse. She's like, hey, go grab me a bag of my Spanish pink beans. I'm like, okay. I grab that. She takes it to work, and she just heats water up in the coffee maker, pours some water in there, eats it right out of the Mylar bag. And people are looking at her like, what are you eating? What smells so good? She's like, my Spanish pink beans. What's with the bag? Oh, my husband freeze dried it for me.
This is normal, guys. This is completely normal.
For everybody else, it's like, what? Can you do that for me? It's like, yeah, for a price.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Right. As long as you've not like tried to throw the cat in there or anything, I suppose it's good.
Yeah, I don't think you want to stick a gerbil and a mouse in a freeze dryer. Nah, it doesn't end well for the gerbil and the mouse, and you have to clean the freeze dryer when you're done. After it goes pop because of lack of atmospheric pressure. Yeah, we can go back down that rabbit hole if you want, or you want to do that privately.
Yeah, let's not talk about that on Shadow's channel. Let's...
Yeah, no. Yeah, if you want to do something on freeze drying with your buddies or whatever, just shoot me. Give me a couple days notice on an email. We'll figure out a time. And I mean, for me during the week, at your time in the evening, like right now is perfect for me. Obviously, it's like 6 o'clock, but I mean, if you're going to do it at like 8 o'clock in the morning for you, that's like, I don't know, midnight for me. I'll probably do it if it's on a weekend. I don't really care.
Yeah, we'll sort something out if we can sort out the freeze dry and stuff. We'll definitely sort something out.
I'll take my camera downstairs and my stuff, and I'll show the freeze dryer and how I do some things and all that.
That'd be cool. I'd love to do that on one of my podcasts on the channel and just do that, me and you. That'd be cool. So.
That works.
Awesome. Right, we'll set something up. Shadow, thank you for having us. Thank you for hosting. It's been awesome as always. Anybody watching on my side, make sure you go and check out these guys' channels as well and subscribe to them. Show them some love on their videos. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't even think I put my my link up, but whatever. I don't have a lot of videos on there on the Chef Tech side. Magic, I have like 2.
Yeah, just search Chef Tech and look for a raccoon. You will find him.
No, actually, it's, did I put the? Yeah, actually, it is Chef Tech 86.
There you go. Chef Tech 86 and Shadow Scout Swede. I'll put the links on afterwards at the bottom on my side anyway. So cheers, guys. I'm going to shoot off and get this food sorted, and I will see you on another one.
Good times.
Take care, Mark.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Okay, we'll wrap things up now. And yes, I'm tired. Thanks, guys, for coming. I appreciate it, and I will see you next week. Same time, same channel, same day, with a new topic. And don't forget, be part of the solution, not the problem. Stay safe and God bless. And we are supposed